The Menai Straits can be dangerous for any yachtsmen or dinghy sailors who are inexperienced or careless. The lifeboat crew turn out in all weathers at any time of day or night for an emergency at sea. And in 138 launches in the old Blue Peter II, they've saved 53 lives since she was presented by Blue Peter viewers. She's to retire in a few weeks, and before she went, we took a last look at her and had a chat with District Inspector John Bubb. John told us that even after 10 years' hard work, she was still in reasonable shape, and that the new, bigger boat was needed here badly.
Yeah, it's still in very good condition.
But it is actually coming out of service now, isn't it?
It's going to come out of service as soon as the new Atlantic is ready.
What's going to happen to this now?
This is going to go on permanent exhibition in Cornwall.
Great, so people will be able to still take a look at it.
The old boathouse was too small for the bigger Atlantic boat with all its special equipment, so a much larger one had to be built. After months of discussion, it's ended up just a few meters along the beach. The special waterproof tractor was quite a surprise, but everything about the new Atlantic-class boat is on a much larger scale than its predecessor. The trailer, too, is specially made, with 2 axles instead of 1, to carry the 1,043-kilogram boat.
John, what do you need roll bars for on a boat? I thought you only had those on racing cars.
Oh, not at all, no. Well, here fits protection for the crew in the event of a capsize in shallow water. And also it provides the navigation lights and allows for a radio mast. And
that's inflatable.
This is the inflatable bag which gives the righting capability to the boat. Oh. If you capsize, you inflate it, and it brings the boat back to the upright.
Yeah. Well, they certainly said there was more equipment in this shelter here. Well, there is. It's a massive boat, isn't it? But it's exactly the same as the boat at Littlehampton, but the seating arrangement's different. They have 3 seats in a row.
Yes, this is this is so. As time has gone on, we've modified the boats. We've gone from wooden hulls to fiberglass hulls, and we've put the fuel tanks down below in the hull.
Has it been in the water yet, John?
It's been in the water quite a few times here, but only for workup and trials. And in fact, we haven't as yet carried out a rescue.
Oh.
Who we could choose, John?
Well, you did it last one.
That's why you're going to do this one, right? You've got the wetsuit.
But you're experienced.
And the water's colder up here. Get in.
Oh, yeah, all right, are you? Oh.
We'll see you later.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to have a bath, I think.
When you're doing these exercises, John, I mean, you treat it exactly as the real thing. So how do you actually call the crew?
Well, we would fire off a maroon, which is the assembly signal, and hopefully they'll come running.
But before we fired the maroon, we needed a disaster, and that was where I came in.
I'm about to do something which is probably one of the most dangerous things I've ever done. And if Pete and the lifeboat crew weren't about here, I wouldn't dream of doing it. And that is going out to sea on an inflatable mattress. A lot of people do this, and they think it's great fun. They just get a few meters out, the tide gets them, the wind gets them, and then they're just swept out to the sea. But just in case anything goes wrong, I'm taking a flare with me, just to make sure everything's on my side. But it looks very cold.
With a strong offshore breeze and a 7-knot tide running, John was whisked away, and within a few minutes all we could see of him was a tiny dot on the horizon. Within moments, the crew began to arrive. Most of them work quite close by. Night and day, they're always on standby. Not a second must be lost. But warm clothes and oilskins are essential. The crew could be out in freezing cold wind for hours on end. Although 3 men is a normal crew, Dave the cock said I could go along as an extra hand. In a real emergency with lives at stake, everyone must know exactly what to do and where to go. And everything seemed to be going like clockwork. Even the few moments spent driving to the beach aren't wasted. The boat is a complicated piece of equipment, and before it could be launched, Dave the Cox had to check that everything was working perfectly.
You lines open. Hold open. Short automatic. Yes.
As well as the 3 crewmen on board, the Atlantic needs a tractor driver and at least 2 launchers. By the time Dave had finished his checklist, the engines were started and we were almost afloat. The new boat is certainly fast and manoeuvrable. Her twin 55 horsepower engines give her a top speed of 30 knots. We almost seem to be flying across the waves. In a rough sea, I should think life on board could get a bit bouncy. And when Dave offered to let me take the helm, I wasn't surprised to find a pair of stirrups for my feet.
My wife can take some punishment now.
All right, here we go. I've driven the other one, and it is much better, isn't it?
It was a real thrill driving Blue Peter too, but this trip was serious. We were in a full-scale practice rescue, so for the final approach up to John on his floating mattress, I handed the helm back to Dave.
We're coming, Johnny! Can't miss him with that flare. Flare's gone out, but he's in full view now.
We'd reached John in just 7 minutes from the launch. The old boat was slower and would have taken about 10 minutes to get to him. In a real emergency, those 3 minutes could mean the difference between life and death.
With that thing.
You drifted about 100 yards.
The crew asked us to thank Blue Peter viewers for their new boat. They're delighted with it. Its performance is just what they wanted. The extra speed and size makes it ideal for this treacherous stretch of water. And from now on, it'll be on call to save lives every minute of the day and night.